Midjourney is an extremely powerful AI tool that moves quickly, and it has a slight learning curve until you get the hang of it. Midjourney is actually not even a program itself. You use Midjourney's AI through another program called Discord. In order to run Midjourney, we need to download Discord. So head over to discord.com and download for Windows. If you're on the Mac, download it for the Mac. After you have Discord installed, let's go ahead and open it up. When you open up Discord, it's going to ask you to log in with your email or phone number and then a password that correlates to that account. If you have an account, go ahead and log in here. And if you don't, click register at the bottom. Here it's going to ask you for your email, username, password, and your date of birth. After you've created your Discord account, go ahead and sign in. Next, let's head over to midjourney.com. In order to use Midjourney, you need to link your Discord and Midjourney account. Click sign in. And it's going to ask you to log in. Sometimes if you've already logged in, you can go ahead and skip this step and just click authorize. But for now, I'm going to log in. And now it's asking me to authorize the link between Midjourney and my Discord account. Click authorize. Now you're logged in on Midjourney. Let's go ahead and head back over to Discord and learn how that program works. Discord is a voice, video, and chat app. It's used by a lot of gamers and a lot of businesses can use it too. On the far left-hand side is a list of servers. These are like chat rooms. When you head into these, there'll be people inside of them that you can chat with. Let's head over to the Midjourney server. When you first get into the Midjourney server, it's going to look very complicated, but over on the left-hand side, next to the servers list, is different rooms. So if you go to the newbies room, you can see that there's images that people are creating live. Down at the bottom is a chat box, and this is where you would type your message. So I can type in something like, "Hello world," and then it will send it to everybody in the room. Sometimes when you try to open up Discord, it'll open up within your web browser. If that happens to you, you can go ahead and close it out. Let's stick with the desktop app for this tutorial. I want to talk for a moment about the Midjourney subscription plans. Right now, at the time of this video, there is 4 different plans. You have free, basic, standard, and pro plans. The free is, of course, free. Basic is 10, standard is 30, pro plan is 60. If you buy an annual subscription, it's a little bit cheaper each month. So if you know you're going to be using it for a long time, then I would recommend doing the annual subscription. Personally, I don't think the free trial is worth it. If you're going to be using Midjourney and if you want to learn it, go ahead and pay for the basic plan. If you want, you can do the monthly subscription, and if you never use it again, you're only out $10. Also, with the basic plan, it gives you the rights to use the images that you create commercially, meaning you can use them in school or you can use them for your company and you can sell them and make money off of them. The free trial will give you about 0.4 hours of lifetime or fast GPU time, which just means that your renders are going to render faster. You can have 3 jobs running at the same time and you can have 10 of them queued up. And on the free trial, you can only create about 25 images before you have to upgrade to a basic, standard, or a pro plan. The worst part about the free trial is that you cannot use your images commercially and you have to attribute Midjourney when you do use the images. This is why I recommend going with the basic plan. This is the plan that I use. Here you can see the outline for the basic plan. The great part about it is you do get 3.3 hours per month. I use the basic plan to create content, so I actually get a lot of use out of it. It may be more than what a lot of people need, but in the end, if you are in school or if you are using it for a business, in my opinion, it is a very good deal for $10 a month. Just like the free trial, the basic plan gives you 3 concurrent jobs and 10 jobs waiting in the queue. In the standard and pro plan, you do get unlimited relaxed GPU time, which means that it won't put you at the forefront of the line, but it will put you in the back of the line so that your images do get rendered over time. It's just a little bit slower, essentially. The pro plan is great because you get 12 concurrent fast jobs, 3 concurrent relaxed jobs, and then 10 more jobs waiting in the queue. So that's probably more than most people need. One thing to note about the basic plan is you can only create about 200 images a month. Let's head back over to Discord. If you are subscribed to a Midjourney plan, then you can actually just direct message the Midjourney bot. Over on the left-hand side, you'll have an option, and I'll get there in just a moment. But for now, if you did not subscribe to a Midjourney plan, what you can do is you can create a server and then invite the Midjourney bot into it. So that way you don't have to see all the other images that other people are making. It gets kind of messy and sometimes it's hard to find your own images. Go over to the left-hand side on the servers list and click the Add a Server button. Click Create My Own. skip this question for now. And then let's name it Midjourney Images and click Create. Now head back over into the Midjourney server. On the top right, there's a Show Member List button. If you click that, it'll show all the members that are in the Midjourney server. Find the Midjourney bot, right-click the name, and click Profile. When the profile pops up, click Add to Server, and then select the Midjourney Images server that we just created. Click Continue. Authorize. Click I am human, hopefully, and then allow access. And now you have the Midjourney bot within the server that we just created. If you can't find the member list button, you can simply find the Midjourney bot somewhere within the chat, click its name, click Add to Server, and then you'll follow the same prompts that we just completed. Let's head over into the Midjourney Images server that we just created. At this point in time, if you don't have a paid plan for Midjourney, you can stay on this screen and just follow along from here. But for me, I'm going to switch over to my paid account. If you do have a paid plan, go over into your Midjourney server, find the Midjourney bot on the member list, right-click it, and click Message. Now you can direct message the Midjourney bot. Let's imagine our first image. Do /imagine, and then write your prompt. A prompt is a set of instructions, concept, phrases, descriptors, or really whatever you want the AI to create an image of. Let's start with something simple like a modern home, colorful, and in Miami, Florida, for a family. And for fun, let's put them on a beach. And then press Enter to send in your request. You can see that your request was sent in, and it was sent to the Midjourney bot, and it's waiting to start. 62%, and it's using the fast GPU. It's at 78%, and it's using the fast GPU time, 93%, and soon 100. All right, and there you go. That's the image that I created. You can maximize it by clicking on it. It's very colorful. It looks like a modern home. It looks like it's in Miami. It did miss one part of the prompt, which is on the beach, but that's okay. We can fiddle around with that a little bit later, and I'll show you how to get images that are more exact. But for now, this is our first piece that we've created. After your first image is created, you have a lot of different ways you can further develop it into whatever you like. Right below the image grid are 3 options that we see immediately. It really looks like 9, but it's 3. U1, 2, 3, and 4 all refer to upscale images 1, 2, 3, and 4. And V1, 2, V3, and V4 all refer to make a variation of image 1, 2, 3, and 4. The rerun or refresh button is pretty much self-explanatory. It's going to rerun your prompt. And because it's AI, it'll create a different image each time. The numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 for upscale and variations actually correlate to the images that are in the image grid. Top left will be 1, top right is 2, bottom left is 3, bottom right is 4. Upscale will re-render the image you like, and the output will be full resolution at 1024 by 1024 pixels. Variation will re-render image 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it'll create a new image grid or 4 new images that are slight variations of it. The concept of Midjourney is you want to write a prompt that's going to create an image grid of 4 images that you can choose from. If you don't like any of them, then you can click rerun or change your prompt in some way that you'll like it more. If you do like 1 or 2 of them, then you can run a couple variations of it. Or if you do like one a lot, then you can upscale it. So let's say that you like image number 3, but you want to create a slight variation of it, or it's not quite what you want, but it is your favorite out of these 4. Let's go to V3 to run a variation of image 3. Now that it's done, all 4 images are very similar to image number 3 that we created before. So let's say that I like image number 1 in this image grid. I can click upscale, and it's going to create a 1024 by 1024 pixel image of it. When you upscale, it enlarges the image slightly, and it's given it more detail. To save the image to your computer, you can right-click it within the Discord app and click Save Image. You can click it here in the Discord app and do Save Image. Or you can head back over to midjourney.com, click Sign In. After you've signed into your account, you can see the images outlined here. Hover over it, click the 3 dots, and then you can click Save Image. I like to use the website a lot because it shows you everything that you've created and you can move through it quickly and save the images that you like. The most difficult part about Midjourney AI is writing prompts that output images that aren't only what you want, but they're also impressive. A prompt is very similar to how we would communicate with each other. The crazy part is though, when we are communicating with AI, it actually has the entire knowledge of the internet in its brain. This means that you can be very vague and literally ask it to imagine anything. The hardest part though is actually knowing what you want it to do and then communicating that in a way that AI will give you what you actually want. I like to view the prompt as a description that you're giving the AI, a description about your image. A description is what we use to convey a character, a setting, or a scene that puts an image in the AI's mind. It's how we bring characters to life and create imaginative settings. A well-developed prompt will develop a what? A tongue twister. A well-developed prompt will convey a well-developed image. In order to do this, you can use the tips in this video. Also, to supplement that, I have a link in the description below, which is the Midjourney cheat sheet. It's a reference guide to all things Midjourney prompting that's made specifically for architecture. In the Midjourney cheat sheet, you will notice there are 7 powerful prompt producers you should follow to create amazing and impressive architectural images. First off, we have fill in the blanks. Subject. Is it a person, an animal, location, or object? Medium. A photo, painting, illustration, sculpture, a sketch, or maybe a textile. Environment. Is it the interior or exterior? What's the climate zone? Is it a fantasy world? Maybe it's even underwater. Lighting. How's the lighting? Is it soft, ambient, noir, overcast, sunny, neon? Is it in a studio or is it very faded? Is the color vibrant, muted, bright? Is it monochromatic, black and white, colorful, or maybe pastel? The mood. Is it sedated, calm, energetic, or maybe mysterious? Composition. Is it a portrait, an architectural rendering, a headshot, a close-up? Are you looking at it from bird's eye view, or are you looking at it up from a worm's eye view? Is it an architectural construction drawing, or maybe even an isometric drawing? Synonyms. Give your descriptive words more weight by using powerful synonyms. Instead of saying large, say gigantic, massive, or enormous. Use strong emotions and very atmospheric qualities. 5 senses. It helps to think about your 5 senses and include a word or phrase for all 5. Sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. Similes. Similes are when you use the words like or as. For instance, a house like a tropical fish, or a hallway like a Star Wars set. POV or point of view. Choose how the image is perceived and who is perceiving it. Is it an isometric, a bird's eye view, worm's eye view, or a construction drawing on a computer screen? Try to include a date and time that the image is in. For instance, if it should have qualities of a Renaissance painting or a collage from the 1930s. Collective nouns. Try not to use plural words and instead use collective nouns. If you want 6 columns, say 6 columns, not just columns, plural. Midjourney has an easier time interpreting the scale and the look you are going for if you have a definitive number of elements. Style and aesthetics. Midjourney is very good at stylizing an image. Use words like cartoon, diagram, noir, graphite shading, realistic, or architecture rendering. Maybe ornamental gothic, or any other artistic style you would like to apply to your image. It's very helpful to know what type of aesthetic you're going for in your image. I've linked in the description and in the Midjourney cheat sheet a link to an extremely useful wiki page that has a very long list of aesthetics and different styles that you can use. I will typically end my prompt with either a type of building, the word architecture, or structure so that Midjourney knows that I'm looking specifically for architecture. It's better to ask for what you want and not what you don't want. Use collective nouns like I mentioned before, and don't rely on the phrase no columns or no people. There are specific parameters that you can use to remove things from your image, but that's what I'll go over in the video linked at the top left here and in the description below.
The hardest part about writing a good prompt is knowing what you want. Available to patrons and linked in the description below is the Midjourney cheat sheet. It's a complete Midjourney reference guide that's made specifically for architecture. There are two different types of prompts that can be used, a basic and an advanced prompt. A basic prompt is just a single word or a simple phrase, not including anything else. Advanced prompts have three parts: image URLs, the prompt text, and one or more parameters. The image URLs go first in the beginning, then the prompt text goes right in the middle, and then at the end is where we throw all of our parameters. Parameters are options or settings that you throw at the end of your prompt that will change how Midjourney generates your image. Midjourney has a large list of parameters that you can use in many ways to help generate your images. Parameters are added at the end of a prompt, and you use two hyphens to add a parameter. Let's take a look at the parameters that are best suited for architecture images.
Aspect ratios can be changed by using the aspect parameter. On version 4 of Midjourney, the default is 1:1, and you can choose between 1:1, which is square, 1:2, which is portrait, and 2:1, which is landscape. On version 5 of Midjourney, you can choose higher ratios if you would like, for example, 3:1 and 1:4. The chaos parameter will change how crazy and varied your results will be. You can choose any number between 0 and 100, and the default is set to be 0. The no parameter will attempt to omit or remove something specific from your image. The quality parameter will determine which quality you want your render to be. It does not affect the resolution, but it will determine how much time is spent rendering your image. Lower values are good for low detail images. If you are creating architectural images or drawings, then a higher quality would likely be better. You can use 0.25, 0.5, or 1, and the default is actually set to 1. Uplight and upbeta parameters are the same options you see after you have upscaled an image, but this time it'll output an image grid for you rather than just one image. Uplight creates images that are slightly softer with less details, and upbeta creates an image grid that has significantly less details. The STYLIZE parameter is useful because Midjourney AI has been trained to favor images that have artistic color, composition, and form. A lower STYLIZE value simply means it'll be less artistic, and a higher STYLIZE value is more artistic. When using versions 4 and 5, the default style value is set to 100. In my work though, I hardly notice a difference of a value over around 250 to 300, even though it can go all the way up to 1000. In Midjourney, you can create a short video of your image being created, although it's only available in specific model versions: 1, 2, 3, test, and test P. Model version parameters are useful if you would like to get a very specific type or style of an image. Niji is best if you would like to create anime style images. High definition is best for landscape and abstract images. You can try to use test P for photorealistic images, although I typically just write photorealistic or photorealism in the prompt, and it gives me pretty great output. And most importantly of all is the version 4 and version 5 parameters. For architecture images at the moment, I prefer to use Midjourney version 4, but I would recommend playing around with version 5 to see which one you like more. Version 5 in my opinion is much more photorealistic, whereas version 4 is trained on much more of an artistic style, and it produces something more along the lines of an illustration or photorealistic rendering.
Next, we're going to take a look at more advanced parameters in settings like remix mode, seed, blend, and image weight. Some of these use what is called an image URL. Simply put, it's just a link to an image that you've uploaded to Discord or a link to an image on the internet. You can use image URLs as part of a prompt to influence the render composition, style, and color. You can use the image URLs even by themselves, or you can combine them with text prompts and other parameters. You can even put multiple image URLs in the same prompt. Remix mode is used to change prompts, parameters, model versions, and aspect ratios between different iterations. It will create a new image that resembles your initial image, which will help you take away or add anything that you initially forgot. On top of that, you can change the setting, the lighting, you can transform the subject, or create a more complicated scene. It's actually very similar to the seed parameter, which we're going to learn in just a moment.
To use remix, we can turn it on in two different ways. Type in /prefer remix, type enter, and now remix mode is turned on. Another way to turn it on is by typing /settings, pressing enter. Here at the bottom is remix mode, which you can toggle on and off. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss this message. Now let's try to use remix mode. So I'm going to imagine an image, Gothic style, mid-century home in the middle of the desert. Let's just have some fun with this one. And press enter. So this is the image that it output, and to initiate remix mode, we're gonna click one of the variations here at the bottom. I like number 3 the most, so I'm gonna click variation number 3. And now you can see a new prompt has come up, the remix prompt. Let's say that I wanna add people walking around. Type it in and click submit. It's created an image that is very similar to one that I liked in the beginning, but now Midjourney has remixed it so that there's more people walking around. You can also remix an upscaled image. So my favorite out of these will be number 3 again. So I'm gonna click upscale 3. And now if you click make variations, you can now make variations to an upscaled image.
A seed is a field of visual noise that the AI uses to create the initial 4x4 grid. Every image that we create is given a seed number by Midjourney. The seed parameter initially sounds pretty confusing, but it's extremely useful and it can be used in many different ways.
Every job you run will be given a seed number by default. You can choose a seed number yourself by using the seed parameter in your initial prompt. To use the seed parameter, do --seed, and then type in a number that you would like the seed to be. I'm gonna just use simply 123 for this. It's a mid-century modern home in the style of Zaha Hadid, located in the Joshua Tree Desert, with seed number 123, and press enter. Let's say that you created an image previously, but you didn't designate a seed number for it. You can scroll up to it, and then you're going to emote to the image by hovering over it, clicking add reaction, and then clicking the envelope. Scroll down to the bottom, Midjourney is going to send you a direct message of the image with its seed number and job ID. The image that I previously created, the mid-century modern home in the Joshua Tree Desert, remember I gave it the seed number 123. So if I add a reaction to that with the envelope, Midjourney will then send me its job ID and seed number, and you can see here that it is still 123. If you run a job with the same prompt and the same seed number, then it will come out exactly the same. If you change the text in the prompt slightly, it'll try to adjust the image for you according to what you changed. So for instance, I ran the same job with the same seed number, but I changed it to be matte black. So you can see this looks very similar to this style. This is useful when you create an image of a building that you really like, but you don't like certain aspects about it, like the color or the weather, or maybe you want to add scale people to it. It's very similar to the variation command, but with this, you have control over what is being adjusted, rather than Midjourney making random adjustments for you. Seed is slightly different than remix because a remix can only be applied to an image that you have already made, and then it will create a new one-off of your adjustments. A seed adjustment can be applied to an image that you have made in the past, present, and future, meaning you can make callbacks to images that you've made in the past. Adding an image URL into your prompt is a total game changer. In order to add an image URL into your prompt, you need to first upload the image to Discord. You can click plus here, and then upload a file, find the file, and then click open, then press enter. Or you can simply drag and drop it into Discord, and then press enter. Once the image is in Discord, you right-click it and select copy link. This is an image URL and it will go at the beginning of your prompt. So we'll start off our prompt with /imagine, and then we'll paste in our image URL. Then you'll do a space, and let's do a building on Mars, and then press enter. So Midjourney will take cues from that image URL or the image that you uploaded, and it will create a building on Mars using that image as inspiration. The image that it output, you can see, takes on a lot of cues from the International Space Station.
In Midjourney 5, you can use the image weight parameter. Unfortunately, image weight doesn't work in Midjourney 4. You'll quickly realize that if you have a prompt with an image in it and some text, you'll want to choose which one that Midjourney will favor more.
To use image weight, let's first switch over to Midjourney version 5 by typing /settings, enter, and then toggling over to MJ version 5. I'm going to dismiss the message. Let's say that you wanted to create a high-rise building in Japan, but you really wanted it to look like the Seagram's building by Mies van der Rohe. /imagine, and let's pull the Seagram's building into Discord. You can do that by the way I showed you previously, by dragging it into Discord, or you can do a simple Google search for the Seagram's building. Images. Find the image that best represents the building that you like. I'm going to do this one. Right click it and select copy image address. Let's head back over in a Discord. Paste that image into your prompt, do space, and then type a building in Tokyo, Japan. Right now, Midjourney would probably blend these two together. It would blend a building in Tokyo, Japan, and with the Seagram's building. Image weight is default at 1 and can be anything between 0.25 to 2. The higher the image weight, then the more effective the image will have on the render. I'm going to run 3 different prompts. 1 is going to be without the image weight. 2 is going to be with the image weight set to its highest value, which is 2. And then I'm going to do one where the image weight is set to 0. And let's do a sustainable building in New York City with trees all over it. And lastly is the blend command. Blend is a simplistic way to blend 2 to 5 images together, and it was developed so that you can easily do it from your phone. So you can find a lot of uses there while you're out and about. Choose 2 to 5 images, and Midjourney will take the concept and aesthetics of each image and blend them all into one singular new image. So right now, saved on my computer, I have the Haydar Aliyev Center by Zaha Hadid and Falling Water designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. I'm going to type in /blend. With blend, you can do 2 to 5 images, but it defaults to 2. I'm going to show you how to do 2. If you want to add more, you just click down here and select image 3 and image 4. But for now, we'll just do 2. Click image 1, and I'm going to do the Haydar Aliyev Center by Zaha Hadid. And then I'm going to do Falling Water by Frank Lloyd Wright. You can change the dimensions of the output by clicking down in the prompt and selecting dimensions. I want this to be landscape. And then hit enter. And this is what Midjourney thinks Frank Lloyd Wright and Zaha Hadid's Falling Water and the Haydar Aliyev Center would look like blended together.
Are you looking to take your architectural images and renders to the next level? Midjourney AI can actually help you upgrade and elevate any architecture images that you have already made, including photographs, renders, isometric drawings, anything of the sort.
Head over into your Midjourney server or a direct message in Midjourney bot. I'm going to upload an old image that I want to add more life to. So click plus, upload a file, click the image that you want to transform, and then click open. When you hit enter, it's going to upload it to the Discord server. Right click the image and copy link. If you want to transform an image that's already up on the internet, go to your web browser, right click the image and select copy image address. Go back into your Midjourney server, type in /imagine, paste in your image URL, and I want to add some people hiking around in the foreground. So I'm just going to type that exactly. People hiking in the foreground. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Now I'm going to run a second one. Imagine. Paste the image URL. People hiking in the foreground. And this one I'm going to run on version 5. Type in --v5 for version 5 parameter. And I want to give the image a lot more weight. So I'm going to do --IW for image weight and set that to its max value at 2. And then press enter. This is going to give us 2 different options to choose from. Version 5 is a lot more photorealistic, and with the image weight being as high as it is, it'll give us an image that's the closest that Midjourney can towards our original image. With Midjourney version 4 running, it's going to be a lot more artistic. More so, this method is to transform it and to give you a little bit more inspiration and some images that maybe you can pull objects from, like the scale figures, the foreground or the background, or maybe even aspects of the architecture that you like. A quick tip here, use words like high detail, God rays, mysterious, bright, and really any type of atmospheric word. You want to put that at the end of your prompt. Check out the link in the description for the Midjourney cheat sheet. It's a prompting guide with a gigantic list of useful words to elevate and unlock your image's potential. It's available to patrons only.
Have you ever had a grand idea or great vision for a building or space, but then you struggle to bring your vision to life on paper? In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to use Midjourney to add texture, depth, detail, and so much life into your rough architectural sketches.
Upload your sketch into Discord by pressing this plus button here, upload a file, navigate to where you saved your sketch, and then click open. Press enter to upload it to Discord. I would recommend taking it into Photoshop before you upload it into Discord and changing it so that it's completely black and white and the background is white. It just helps Midjourney to read your image a little bit better. Now, as you can see, this is not a very good sketch. It's something very rough that I've made, but I just want to see what Midjourney can do with it. Right-click the image that you uploaded and do copy link. Type in /imagine, paste in the image URL, and do a space. So I found the best words to use initially are sunny day, sky with clouds, pedestrians walking around, trees, architectural rendering. So let's do that. Sunny day, sky with clouds, pedestrians walking around, trees, architectural rendering. Then we're going to add our aspect ratio parameter. So do --AR space. This one is somewhat in landscape, so I'm going to do 2:1, which is landscape. Portrait is 1:2, and if your sketch is a square, do 1:1, and then hit enter. After your image is done rendering, I would go ahead and run it 2 more times using the redo button or the refresh button. This will give you a total of 12 images to choose from. Because it's so random each time, it's really nice to have a larger selection. So I'm going to go ahead and run it 2 more times. Once, and then twice. So this is what our output looks like so far. There's our first one. And then we re-ran it again. And then our third rerun. There's a lot more work to be done, but don't worry, we're going to put it through a couple more steps. If Midjourney is rendering your sketch over to the left or to the right too much, or it's in the sky or something like that, I recommend just redrawing your sketch or repositioning it in Photoshop so that your building or the sketch of your building is directly in the center of the image. That way Midjourney knows to focus on it. The next step is we want to turn remix on. So type /settings, press enter. At the bottom, there's a toggle for remix mode. Make sure that's turned on. Now find the top images that you really like. So I like number 1 for this image. I'm going to hit variation 1. Delete the entire image URL. That is if you don't like the line work. If you do like the line work being present, you can go ahead and leave it. Otherwise, for this example, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Also, we're going to delete everything except for architectural rendering. If you would like, you can replace architectural rendering or do a comma and then add in other new style words or aesthetics at this point, like high detail, hyper-realistic, photorealistic, abstract, or any strongly weighted style word. Check out the Midjourney cheat sheet for more examples. Make sure not to delete the aspect ratio parameter. I'm going to leave mine as is like this without any more heavily weighted style words and just click submit. Now, because I want to increase my chances of having an image that I like in the end, I'm going to run that same process for more of these images. I like the bottom right for this one, so I'm going to do variation 4. Delete everything but architectural rendering, and then click submit. And for this image grid, I like the first one because it looks like it has constellations in the sky here. So I'm going to run with that a little bit, see if Midjourney picks that up. Click V1 to make a variation of the first image. Then I'm going to delete everything except for architectural rendering again, and then click submit. Check out what it made. It's looking more and more like an architectural rendering. And now that we have the general form of the building and a shape and composition that we like, let's go ahead and upscale 3 images that we love. In this image grid, I really like the bottom left one, so I'm going to upscale number 3. In our second remix, I really like the bottom left one again, so I'm going to upscale number 3. And then our last remix, because it brings back in a lot more of that original diagrammatic or sketch and like graphite charcoal type qualities. So I'm going to upscale number 1. If you're completely unhappy with the results from the remix, then I recommend drawing a new sketch with bolder lines for the edges of the buildings or other important elements. You can also go back to step 1 and keep running the job over and over again with different prompts until you get something that you like. After your images are done being upscaled, click it and then click Save Image. And we're going to do that for all 3 of them. If you're happy with any of the results, then that's awesome. You can take one of those images and run for it. Otherwise, one last step that I kind of like to do is I like to blend all three of them together and just see what I get. Sometimes it comes out looking really nice. So type in /blend space, click at the end of the prompt, and it'll give you the option to add in image 3. Click at the end again, click dimensions, and click landscape. Now for image 1, where it says drag and drop or click to upload a file, let's go ahead and add in image 1, 2, and 3. So there's number 1, number 2, and number 3, and then hit enter. And now we have our final images. Figure out which one you like the most. I really like the bottom left image the most and the top right. I don't know, they're all pretty cool. It's hard to choose, but I'm just gonna run with the bottom left. Then you just simply upscale it. Let's say you are on your final image grid here and you don't really like any of these and you want it to look more realistic. I found that a very powerful command that you can use is to figure out which one of these you like the most. Let's go with number 1. I'm gonna click V1, delete all the prompts, type in photo realistic, comma, architecture rendering, and then press submit. And after it's complete, you can see by doing that, it no longer looks as diagrammatic as it did before, and it looks more photorealistic. Textures and patterns are an essential element of any design project, and actually creating them is a pretty difficult task. But with the Midjourney AI image generator, you can easily generate beautiful, high quality textures and patterns in just a few simple steps. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Midjourney AI image generator to create seamless textures and patterns for your designs. With this knowledge, you can create a vast array of digital artwork for any craft application. Head over into the Midjourney server or go into the Midjourney bot direct messages. By default, Midjourney is set to version 4 right now, but if you want to be able to create seamless textures and patterns, you need to switch it over to version 5. At the bottom, type /settings, press enter. Change it from MJ version 4 or Midjourney version 4 over to Midjourney version 5. And you can dismiss the message. We're going to be using the tile parameter, and that's only available in version 5. You can really create a pattern or a texture of anything that you want, but for now, let's try to do something like grass. Type in /imagine space grass space -- tile space -- AR for aspect ratio, and let's do 1:1 so it's a square, and then press enter. Not only did Midjourney create 4 different images for us to choose from, but each one of these is completely seamless and tileable. In my opinion, a lot of these are very cartoony, and I want to try to get away from that a little bit more and create something that looks more realistic. So this time I'm going to type /imagine space realistic grass space -- tile space -- AR for aspect ratio space 1:1. Again, this will create a seamless tileable texture, and it will make the aspect ratio 1:1, which is a square. As you can see with these, it's a little bit more realistic looking. These are really zoomed in. So if we take one of these images, upscale it, and then bring it into Photoshop, we can then start to see how it's a seamless texture. For this image grid, I like the bottom left one, so I'm going to go over to Upscale 3. After it's done upscaling, I'm going to click the image, right click, and do Save Image. Now I'm going to hop over into Photoshop, go to Open, select the image that we downloaded. Now that we have our image in Photoshop, let's unlock it in the Layers panel by clicking this padlock icon. Go up to Image, Canvas Size, change it to %, and change the width and the height % to 300. And then click OK. Hold Alt and Shift, click your image and drag upwards, and do this to fill in the spaces. And now you can see as we zoom out, some images do have a slight seam to them, but as you zoom out, it's harder and harder to tell. If it does have somewhat of a pattern that you don't really like, head over to the spot healing brush make your brush larger by holding Alt, right-clicking, and then dragging to the right. Go over into your Layers panel, select all of the layers, hold Ctrl and press E to combine them into one. Hover over the image with your spot healing brush, and click and drag over the areas that you feel like don't really line up too well. This helps it to become a little bit more seamless, and you want to do this after you have your texture to the size that you want. From here you can do File, Save a Copy, and then save it out as a JPEG or PNG, whichever you prefer. Sometimes getting Midjourney to create a texture that you like is pretty difficult. Going to Google and typing in the image search for something that you're looking for. For instance, I found it very difficult to find a hardwood floor that has straight planks. So I'm going to type in hardwood floor. Press enter. Actually, let's add texture onto that to make it a little bit more specific. Find one that you like. I'm going to right click it and select copy image address. Head back over into Discord and type /imagine, paste the image URL into there, which will link the image from the internet that we just found. Press space. I'm going to do hardwood flooring. Or floor, type in texture as well, space, -- tile, so it's a tileable image, -- AR, space, 1:1, so that it's square ratio, then press enter. Before, when I tried to run a prompt that was a hardwood floor, it would give me patterns such as this. This is possible to do with hardwood floor, although it's not standard. It's not what I was looking for, let's put it that way. And then when I gave it an image URL or some type of inspiration that I found off the internet, it was able to create something more along the lines of what I wanted, which is this output here. Two of them I can't really use, but the top left and the bottom right are definitely two textures or patterns that I could use in like a rendering image or some type of design project.
Are you tired of living in a dull and outdated home or apartment? Do you want to give it a fresh, modern look, but you just don't know where to start? In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Midjourney AI to completely remodel your home or apartment, interior and exterior. You can actually do this right from your phone or from your computer. With Midjourney AI, it's great because you can create a whole bunch of different images, see what it might look like before you make any definitive decisions for yourself. It's like having your own personal architect and interior designer at your fingertips. The images that you're going to create, at the very least, can serve as something that's very inspirational, or images that you can give your contractor, architect, or landscape designer, interior designer, whomever, so that they can start to understand your vision. Midjourney AI is used within a communication app called Discord.
On your phone, head over into your app store, search for Discord, download Discord. After you have Discord installed, open it. Right now I'm logged into my account, but if you're not logged in, go ahead and sign in. Head over into the Midjourney server. Swipe left to pull up the chats. At the top, you should have a member icon. Click that to show the member list. Scroll down until you see the Midjourney bot and tap on it. From there, click Message. Now let's go take photographs of the spaces that we want to transform. Walk around your home and take photographs with your phone of everything you would like to remodel or reimagine. It helps to have nice lighting and not a lot of clutter with clean, clear surfaces. If you would like to reimagine the outside of your home, take photographs of the outside and try to get the images to be as straight on as possible. Introducing angles can cause the AI to create some funky images that aren't very helpful for you. If you can, try to capture an entire side of a house within the frame of a single photograph. After you've taken your images, then upload them to Discord by using the plus sign on the bottom left. Allow access to alt photos, and then select the images that you would like to upload. I'm going to upload this image of a house I found. Send it, and now the image is uploaded into Midjourney. Long press on the image and click Copy Media Link. In the chat box, type in /imagine, space, paste the media link, then do a space. Tell Midjourney what type of upgrades you would like to make. So for this one, I would like a larger chimney, an outdoor fire pit, a watchtower, and a wrap around front porch with black wood siding. After you're done telling it what you want, type a space, type --v space 5, then do another space, --iw space 2, space --AR for aspect ratio, space, and then type in the aspect ratio that your original image URL is most closest to. So in this instance, 2:1 would be a landscape image, 1:1 would be a square image, and 1:2 would be a portrait image. More often than not, if you held your phone sideways while you're taking the photographs, you're going to use 2:1. If you held it upwards or in portrait style, it's going to be 1:2. This image is in 2:1, so I'm going to type 2:1 and then press send. If you're on the computer, then the process is exactly the same, except to get the images into Discord, you can just click and drag them in. You can also send the images to Discord from your phone and then move on to your desktop computer or laptop if you want to finish up there. To do the interior rooms, you would do the exact same process as you did for the exterior. Like, here's an image of a kitchen that I want to get updated, and this is what Midjourney transformed it into.
Creating an architecture animation is very time consuming and confusing. It also can become a pretty expensive task, especially if you're hiring someone else to do the work for you. A tired old 2D image can get boring very quickly, and architecture needs depth to be read correctly. If you want to take your 2D images to the next level, I'm going to show you how to create dynamic visuals that come alive with motion.
Head over to convert.leiapix.com. That's convert.leiapix, leiapix.com. The Leiapix converter turns any of your 2D images, it takes a depth map of it, and then creates an animation using that. On the top left, click Upload, and then upload the image that you want to make an animation from. Some settings are automatically set, but let's adjust them a little bit to get what you really want. Animation length, I like to leave it longer because when it's short, it looks like it bounces around a little bit too quick. So I'm going to leave it at 6 seconds. Animation style, I like perspective, but there's a lot of use for ones like horizontal and vertical. I'm going to leave mine on perspective for now. For the amount of motion, I like to leave it on more, just because I like to see more of movement in the image. If you put it on less, you can see it's very subtle. So I'm going to leave it on more. Focus point, I'm going to do center. The end dilation, I like to leave it at 1.5. And then this is usually good enough for me. If you head over to the advanced editor though, you can adjust some more settings. Like if you want it to just directly zoom in, turn your amplitude Y and amplitude X all the way down, and just turn the Z amplitude all the way up. Also, you can actually edit the depth map yourself, but I've noticed that Leiapix actually does a great job automatically, so usually I don't even come in here. But if you wanted to paint on here, if you click and drag, you can see you start to draw the depth map yourself. White is something that's closer to the screen, and black will be something that's further away. Now, if you have an ad blocker on, I recommend turning it off now because I was having troubles actually downloading the image. So what I did was I turned off my ad blocker and then I was able to actually save this. So head over to share. It's going to convert your image. And now you can save it as a GIF, MP4, LIF, and all these other options. Typically, I settle on a GIF or an MP4.
Sometimes the most difficult part about AI is writing a good prompt. Check out the link in the description to the Midjourney cheat sheet available to patrons. It's the ultimate guide to writing prompts specifically made for architecture. Over there are 2 videos that I think you'll really like. And if you like this video, please like the video and subscribe down below if you want to see future content just like this. Right beside me are a list of patrons from Patreon. If you sign up, you get a lot of great architecture related benefits, and your name gets featured at the end of the video like these amazing people right here.